Hi, guys. Well, Robert's been asking us to send in our stories, so this is my story. I want to say back in 2018, I was driving an 18-wheeler by myself. Um, I was coming out of Washington on Highway 90 going east towards Montana and the East Coast. I was getting ready to drop a load in Montana the next day. But this was about, I don't know, it was after midnight. It was somewhere between 1 and 3 in the morning. Um, and I'm driving along. Okay, so I'm going down this big major highway. And I get within probably 150 feet away, and there's no one on the road, no one coming the opposite direction, no one as far as I can see it in front of me or in back of me. And I see this 18-wheeler that looks like it's in the middle of the road. And as I'm getting closer, I'm looking, my mind is reeling. I'm thinking, did he have a wreck? Is he broke down? What's going on? Why is he in the middle of the road? This is just not right. And even if you broke down or had a flat tire, you would pull off on the shoulder, right? You wouldn't just stop in the middle of the road. And I'm talking the middle of the road. So as I'm getting closer, I see that there's a guy, the trucker guy, standing beside the truck on the driver's side, and he's pointing up. So he's standing like this, and he's pointing, he's pointing like that, straight up and looking straight up. Well, it took me, a couple of minutes to get there, and he's still standing like that, like he's stuck. So then I started thinking, well, is this a trick? Is he trying to trick me? Is someone else trying to trick me? What is going on? And I don't know. So many things were going through my mind. And, of course I thought about stopping, because that's what you would do, right? You would stop and help somebody. But it was so bizarre that I don't know. And I also felt at the same time that my guide, who I can feel once in a while, and he's even talked to me before in a voice, so I felt like he said, don't look, don't stop, and don't look. Keep going. I slowed down to about, 25 miles an hour or something like that, and I just kind of went around the truck. The guy still looked okay. He was still standing there pointing, like for minutes, It's not normal. And so I just went on. And I thought, well, surely there will be other truckers coming. If there is a problem, they can help. Or if he has a CB or something, he could call for help. But also, why could I see him? It was pitch black. There is no street lights, no nothing. We're out in the middle of nowhere. Just a bunch of trees and the road. And how was I able to see him? Well, there was a beam of light coming down right on him, not on the truck, not anywhere else, just a beam of light right coming down to him, to where I could see him. It wasn't a real bright light or anything. It was just, and I don't know where the light was coming from, except it was coming from above. And when I did look up, I looked up, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see a ship. I couldn't hear a ship or anything. But I'm thinking it had to have been a ship. So anyway, I talked to Robert on the phone, and a few months back, and I was really actually telling him about another story, and I don't know, I happened to end up telling him this story, and he said that he was more interested in this story, because he had talked to a trucker guy who told him the exact story that I'm telling you right now, except the opposite. That he said he was standing in the road, a light was shining down on him, he was pointing up, he knew a truck was coming and he thought the truck would stop. But of course it was me and I didn't stop. And he told Robert, well, I can't believe that other trucker didn't stop to see what was going on or whatever. And anyway, so I mean, that's pretty much my story right there. Okay, so I after I passed him, I was going a little ways and I did just glance in my rear view mirror and everything was just the same, you know. The truck was there, he's still pointing. And so I kept going. I remember driving for, I don't know, maybe an hour or something like that. And but then I don't remember anything after that. So until I shut down that night. I still had, I want to say it was about 3 hours more of driving before I could clock out, you know. I remember about 15 minutes before I was about to shut down, I was looking for places to shut down, and it's very difficult early morning hours because most truckers drive in the morning and they're already shut down at like 10 o'clock at night, so all the places are taken up. And I remember this because I had to park on an off ramp, and I hate that. So I remember that because, you know, other traffic and truckers will keep you awake, you know. You just don't sleep well. So and then, well, this is kind of another story, but the same one. So the next day I get up, I drop the load, I'm driving in the night again, and I see 3 white lights way down the road, maybe, and up in the sky, way down the road. I want to say it would probably take me an hour and a half or 2 hours to get there. So it was that far away. So I was thinking, oh, that's strange that there's 3 great big white lights there. And I started thinking, well, what could that be? Is it a stadium or what is it? But it was already about midnight again. So I'm thinking, well, who would be in a stadium at midnight with the lights on, right? I was thinking all kinds of things. But I watched this thing for over an hour. These lights just sat there for over an hour. And then as I got closer, all of a sudden they just dropped down. And I don't know where they dropped down to because it was still pitch black. I'm still in the middle of nowhere. You know, I'm not near a city or anything like that. So I thought, well, maybe it dropped down behind a hill, or maybe these are lights of some sort, and my elevation went up or something. Anyway, I just thought, well, it just went behind a hill or a mountain or something like that. Well, and then I shut down shortly after that. Well, then the next day, I got up and it was daylight, and there was no hills, no mountains, no nothing. So I don't know where the lights went. They just disappeared, I guess. So anyway, I just made some bullet points, but let me just make sure I didn't forget anything. I didn't hear anything. I don't know if I told you that. My window was down about, yay far. The only noise I heard was the roar of my own engine. I didn't hear his engine, the other trucker. I didn't hear anything else. There were no sound, no bird sounds, no nothing. I think that's probably it. So anyway, that's my story, and I'll probably upload it on my channel later on I'm doing a series, but this is out of context, you know, so I'll upload this probably in a month or two on my channel. Okay, guys, have a great one. I'm looking forward to hearing everyone else's stories. Okay, bye-bye.